Picture this. You're working the night shift. It's quiet, it's routine, maybe even a little boring. And then, in an instant, what you see on your security monitor and what you see with your own two eyes become two completely different, totally impossible realities. This is the bizarre story of Javier Reyes, and a breach that wasn't about security. It was a breach in reality itself.
And this right here is the heart of the whole paradox. On the one hand, security guard Javier Reyes is watching a full-blown, high-tech heist happening in real time on his screen. He sees a masked figure cracking open safety deposit boxes. But on the other hand, when he physically looks into that exact same room through the reinforced glass, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. The room is perfectly, chillingly silent and empty.
So let's set the scene, because the location itself is basically a fortress. We're in Denver, January of 2026. At the First National Trust Bank, 3 stories underground, and a vault secured by every system you can imagine. And at 2:47 in the morning, in this totally isolated steel chamber, the impossible starts to happen.
Now, what's so wild is how this all kicks off. There's no loud explosion, no blaring alarms. A figure in full tactical gear just appears on the main vault feed. He walks up to a gate that needs all this complex clearance and just opens it. And every single one of those foolproof security protocols, they stay completely silent. The system sees absolutely nothing wrong.
Javier, he's an ex-military guy, so he immediately snaps into his training. First, he hits the silent alarm, but the system dashboard stays green, just reads all secure. So he grabs the radio to call for backup and gets nothing but static. He slams the panic button under his desk. It's completely dead. As a last resort, he tries to manually override the vault controls with his own biometrics, and the system just flat out denies him access. Every single layer of security hasn't just been bypassed, it's like it's been turned against him.
So, in total desperation, he gets on the landline to the police. And can you just imagine being the dispatcher on the other end of this call? You hear this frantic voice say, "I have him on camera, but the room's empty." I mean, it's a sentence that makes no sense. It sounds like a prank call, or maybe the guy's hallucinating. But for Javier, this is his terrifying, unfolding reality.
And then the whole thing hits this terrifying climax. After filling his bag, the figure on the screen turns, walks directly toward the camera, and stops. He looks straight into the lens and gives a slow, deliberate wave. It's like he knows he's being watched. It's a direct acknowledgement. And then, poof, he just vanishes from the frame, and the feed cuts to static. You know, this wasn't just some flicker on the screen, some split-second glitch in the system. Javier watched this phantom thief for 20 solid minutes. For 20 minutes, he saw deposit boxes being pried open, contents being stuffed into a bag, all while the physical room right in front of him remained completely untouched.
So, of course, when the police and the bank executives finally show up, there is zero physical evidence that anything ever happened. The inventory is perfect. Not a single thing is missing. There are no signs of forced entry, no tool marks, nothing. And the archived footage from that time, it just shows a tiny flicker at 2:47 a.m. and then nothing but a pristine empty vault. Javier's entire experience was just gone, wiped from the official record.
But the investigation did uncover one tiny detail that turns this whole paradox into something truly impossible. See, a junior tech was looking at the metadata from the feed. All the vault cameras, they're mounted high up on the ceiling for a wide view. The footage Javier saw, though, it was shot from a low, eye-level angle, an angle where no physical camera was installed.
And this leads to a really, truly terrifying conclusion. The only way you could possibly get that camera angle, that phantom perspective, as they called it, was if the camera wasn't mounted on a wall at all. It was as if the camera was the thief's own perspective, as if Javier had been seeing the whole thing through the intruder's own eyes.
Officially, the case was just closed. The explanation was operator fatigue. But Javier, he couldn't let it go. So he started digging into the bank's history, and what he found was a chilling pattern. Back in 2018, another guard reported a nearly identical episode. 2 weeks later, that guard vanished without a trace, and even further back, during the vault's construction in 2009, workers had filed official complaints about constantly feeling watched.
You know, the experience just completely broke him. Javier Reyes, the one and only witness to this impossible crime, quit his job that very day. He now lives completely off-grid. No cameras, no screens of any kind. He can't stand to be around them, haunted by what he saw or what he thinks he saw that night.
And that leaves us with the core of the paradox, a question that just doesn't have a logical answer. Was it some kind of ghost in the machine, a glimpse into a different time, or maybe a different reality? Or was it something else entirely? Because if that room was truly empty, then who or what was on the screen?